Welcome back to Garrett's Football Show. This is episode 7. I can't believe it's already been 6 weeks of NFL football, 6 weeks of Garrett's Football Show. They're going by way faster than I think now. Again, I do no big intros. I'm here by myself this week just because, I have a little bit of rain and I want to do. It's a great week of NFL football for me. I feel like, I wanted to just take a week, relax, be by myself, and let myself say whatever the hell I want for 20, 30 minutes. And just talk about football by myself, with my fans, with you guys. Now, if I seem a little out of breath, if I seem like I'm sniffling, it's probably because I am. I've been in like a 5-day battle with my allergies. The weather's changing where I live. Every time that happens, it starts to get cold. I start to get a cold. Same thing happens. So bear with me. Ignore it if you can. It's not a big deal. I'm drinking some tea. Try to soothe my throat, get a little bit of, of relief. But anyways, moving on to that. I want to start off with the Steelers. I'm about to rant about the Steelers for probably like 5 to 10 minutes. We're a minute and 30 seconds in. If you don't want to hear me rant about the Pittsburgh Steelers beating the GOAT, Tom Brady, skip this. Skip past this. A couple weeks ago, I saw this 4-game stretch. Bills, Buccaneers, Miami, Philadelphia. And every single guest, when I said that stretch, their faces just turned up like I don't even know, like they were just eating Sour Patch Kids or some shit. And I'm saying sour then, sweet now. We turn sweet. Pause. Damn, I walked myself into that. But the Steelers beat the Bucs. And you know what? I'm not going to lie, when I looked at that 4-game stretch, I didn't think the Bucs would be the one that we would beat. But hindsight is 2020 because it makes sense. Aaron was saying a couple weeks back on the episode that he chose the Bucs as that one because Tom Brady and that offense hasn't been looking 100%. That O-line has had problems. They haven't been looking 100%. And all of that showed. But the biggest thing that I can say, well, not even the biggest thing because there's so many things about this game to get into, but I mean our defense. Missing most of our cornerbacks, our star safety, Mika Fitzpatrick. Of course, since game 1, we've been without TJ Watt. It was just looking like there was no way we were going to win that game. Tom Brady was basically throwing against our B squad, and our defense looked like stars. We held Tom Brady to what? Something crazy. I can look here, but I think 18 points, and I'm just Mike Tomlin. It has to be the defense side, our defense being ready for that game. Every week, everybody on ESPN, First Take, whatever you watch, Skip and Shannon, Undisputed, whatever it is, they're saying the Steelers are going to lose that game. Tom Brady's going to burn us. That's going to be an easy game for Tom Brady. There's no easy games against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We won that game 18-20. One touchdown, I think Tom Brady got something crazy like that. We came ready to play, holding the GOAT to field goals in the red zone, making big plays, and getting them off the field without a touchdown every time our team needed to do it. And that whole game, because it was so close, I was waiting for that Tom Brady drive that he was going to put together where he would just end it. Because that was one of those games where you score a big touchdown in the fourth quarter, late in the third, Tom Brady could easily blew the game open. And it just didn't happen. Even before Pickett went out, he was doing good. 11 for 18, 67 yards, a TD on his first drive, and he rushed for 16 yards. You could just see that he's growing every game. So, I'm still confident in Pickett. But Trubisky came in. And when Trubisky came in, I turned the game off for probably 10, 20 minutes because I was like, all right, we're going to lose. And then, of course, I was still looking at my phone, and I'm like, wait, what? Trubisky just got a touchdown? Wait, what? Trubisky's playing good? So I go into the game, and then it's like, is this Mitchell Trubisky that started the first 3 games for us, that went 3 and out over and over, that couldn't get a freaking touchdown, that looked like, I don't even know, like he shouldn't be in the NFL, like he should be playing college football somewhere still at the, however old he is, probably 35 years old. It didn't look like Mitchell Trubisky. 9 for 12, 144 yards. That final drive, finding Chase Claypool, multiple times on long third down, just keeping that drive around so Tom Brady couldn't get the ball back and just ice us in the game like he has made a career of doing. Trubisky played with a freeness. I think he knew okay, my job's already gone. All I can do is just come out here and play. He was aggressive. He was making big throws. He was throwing it down the field, which is something he didn't do at all the first 3.5 games he played. And then fucking Chase Claypool, this is why I keep saying our wide receiving core is crazy, because any given game, a random wide, not a random, but one of our wide receivers can be the star. Because Chase Claypool, I said that he was ass. I said that a couple weeks ago. He's ass. I still think, honestly, I mean, kind of still ass. But that game, he saved us. I mean, 96 yards. Like I said again on that last drive, those two crazy catches that he had in third down, like he was just playing like he was possessed or something. And you know what's also interesting about that is I'm noticing, like, depending on who our quarterback is between Pickett and Trubisky, they have different, what's the word that I want to say for this? They trust or throw better to different receivers. Like I'm noticing with Pickett, he's throwing to Pickens more. You know, he wasn't, those couple games that Pickett was in, Pat Freiermuth wasn't getting as much love. I know I'm probably saying his name wrong again, and I don't have a guest here to help me, so just ignore it. And then Trubisky comes in. Those first games, he was really relying on Pat Freiermuth. I know I said it right that time, but he was really focusing on Pat Freiermuth. I mean, he came in that game. Before Pickett got hurt, Chase Claypool, I don't even know how many catches he got, but it wasn't a lot. Like, he wasn't getting much use like that, at least. And then he came in, and Trubisky, and it was like him and Trubisky just had, like, some connection from the beginning of the game. So I think that as well just proves how good our wide receiver core is and how anybody can make a play depending on what the day. And, again, those are the last. Mitchell Trubisky, if I had told you, if someone had told me, hey, the Steelers are going to be the Bucs, but it's going to be because Mitchell Trubisky throws for 144 yards and like 100 yards in the fourth quarter, and Chase Claypool saves the day for us with 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, big first down after big first down, and a touchdown pass, I would have been like, I mean, probably, but probably not. But all that being said, it just shows that is Steeler football. You think we're out? We are never out. With Tomlin, I mean, being the coach he is, with Matt Canada, being a terrible play caller. And about that, I'm going to get to something with that, a little clip with the Steelers that I want to talk about. But I just want to I'm so, just like a weight will lift it off my back. Because the Steelers are still in it. The Ravens lost. I think the trash-ass Browns lost, if I'm not right. I want to look at that, but who did the Browns play this week? Yeah, the Browns are 2-4. The Ravens are 3-3. Like, the NFL is so competitive this year that us being 2-4 doesn't bother me at all. We are still in this. We're still in the season. We can still get to playoffs. Like, that's just the type of season that it is right now, and that's just the type of team that the Steelers are. Our defense is going to get healthier. You know, people are going to come back, of course. I don't expect Trubisky to have another game that good, so I want Pickett back. He's in concussion protocol because of that play that he had to go out in. Mike Tomlin said, I think a day ago I was looking, where if he can play on Sunday, he's going to play. Now, with everything going on with concussions in the NFL, you know, you want no risk with that. So if he can't play, don't let him play. Trubisky, just keep playing like you don't have the job and that you're just, you know, on borrowed time. If you're going to play like that with that mindset, you know, I'm going to love it. So I'll let Trubisky play. We play the Dolphins next week. I mean, the question is, like, how big of a difference does Trubisky versus Pickett make? I guess it's a big difference, yeah, but now that I see what Trubisky did, like, I'm sure that's why Tomlin brought Trubisky in, because he could play like that. Like, that's what I think all we needed him to do, is to play like that. So, I mean, I got a little bit more respect for Trubisky, a little bit more love for him after that game. He came through for us. So if he plays on Sunday, I don't think that's what's going to make us win or lose. Now, getting into a little bit of Steelers drama. Again, even though we did win, Matt Canada's play calling was still horrendous. He needs to be fired after this year, no matter what. That's just a fact. But it was like a little clip of the Steelers going into the locker room after the win. Everyone's excited, and Matt Canada is coming through into the locker rooms, and he's like excited, pumped. And then a couple like players after that, like literally probably like 15-20 seconds, Chris Boswell walks by seeing that, and he's like, it definitely wasn't because of you, that's for damn sure. And like the conversation was like, was he talking about Matt Canada? Was he having a conversation with someone? You know, with the media, you got to always look at those things, and you know, me being media, I'm gonna look at that thing. Yeah, he was probably talking about Matt Canada being real. And yeah, he was 100% right. Now, this is the second week I've come on this show and kind of mentioned the Steelers having some like problems internally. Last week it was the players kind of laughing around after that bad loss to the Bills, but they came back and they beat Tom Brady. Now this week it's Matt Canada's bad play calling and Chris Boswell like saying that little thing or that little clip. So now it's the questions they're asking, like, is there a problem in the Steelers locker room? Is Mike Tomlin having maybe trouble like balancing like the players or keeping everyone's mind in the game? I think time will tell with that. I mean, like I said, we're 2-4. We've had injuries on defense. Again, we were playing with our B string, basically, cornerbacks, basically. And we quarterback troubles, like everyone knows about that. So it's hard to really say what exactly is going on with the Steelers, but it's the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, it's an organization with a culture, with a winning mentality, with a winning coach, Super Bowl winning coach, multiple Super Bowl winning coach. He's coached multiple Hall of Fame wide receiver. I mean, Antonio Brown, because he's a nutcase probably. Who knows if he'll get in the Hall of Fame, but skill-wise he should. Big Ben, I mean, he should be in the Super Bowl. I mean, he should be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, maybe people don't think that, but he just should be. Went to 3 Super Bowls, won 2, holds so many records. Like, Big Ben is a Hall of Famer. So I say this all to say is, like, a theme that we've had all year. And Tomlin we trust, and Tomlin I trust. And I'm going to keep that going. I like Mike Tomlin. I think if there's problems going on with this team internally that maybe people don't know about, or maybe like stuff is leaking every week here and there, if anyone's going to have this team ready to go every week, figure out a way to light a fire under this team's ass every week to win with our back against the wall, it's Mike Tomlin. Now, I'm going to get back to the Steelers again, but now I got to go back on the other side of that and talk about Tom Brady. Something wrong with Tom Brady? Like, is he? He's not. I'm never going to say Tom Brady's falling off a cliff, because I won't put that on my show. Because as soon as I say Tom Brady needs to retire, blah, 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 yada, 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 after 6 games, he looks like shit. He can't drive the ball. He's screaming at his teammates every game. He looks miserable. The next 3-4 weeks, he'll go 4-0 and get like 7 touchdowns and go crazy, and then the whole narrative will flip and I'll look like an idiot. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to point out the obvious that anybody watching football every week, anybody who watches football shows will see. Something's definitely wrong with Tom Brady, I don't think he took us seriously, the Steelers, because there was reports that he went to Robert Kraft's wedding on a Friday or Saturday. Not that is why they lost, but it's just like, I think that's him saying it's the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I'm playing against a rookie. I'm going to light them up. So he fucked up there, You never turn your backs against the Steelers. It's the fucking Steelers. He should have known that, A. And B, like, just that clip of him screaming at his O-line, I don't like that, just for the simple fact that Tom Brady's the only quarterback where you can do some shit like that and everyone's going to figure out a way to spin it in a good way. But it just looked like a bad look. He's screaming every single game at somebody. He looks old. He looks like a skeleton, Like, and I like Tom Brady again now. Before I didn't being a Colts fan, but I like Tom Brady now. He's the GOAT. So of course I always want to see him play good. But there's something going on with Tom Brady. I'm not gonna talk about what it could be because I don't know. I try to stick for the most part to what I know. And what I know with the eye test is that Tom Brady is not the same Tom Brady of even last year that was in the MVP races. It's only been 6 weeks. He can come back, but come back meaning that he can turn the season around, and he's in the NFC, and they're 3-3, which if you're 3-3 in the NFL right now, you're right in the middle of the race. So I'm not too worried about Tom Brady and the Bucs. He went 25 for 40, 243 yards, a TD. I'm not too worried about Tom Brady and the Bucs, but I will say that's something I'm going to be looking at the next couple of weeks. That's something that we're going to be covering on the show the next couple of weeks is like, what's going on with Tom Brady? He yelling at somebody this week. She's chucking the ball in the ground a whole bunch of times. Is he looking miserable? Is he missing practices for some reason, going to a wedding or going to do something with family? My eyes a little bit more honed in on the Bucs. Kind of like how last week my eyes were, and they're still on, we're going to get to the Packers later, but kind of how my eyes were tuned in on like what's going on with Aaron Rodgers, what's going on with the Packers. I think this week was the week that I put the Buccaneers and Tom Brady on my, okay, let's look out for them watch because maybe something's going on. But just to wrap that up, yeah, Tom Brady, hey man, If anything's going on with you, bro, I hope you get that shit together, because I don't want your last season in the NFL for me to see you, like, look bad, you know? You always want to see the great ones leave great. It sucks when you have to see one of the greatest of all time in any sport go out on, like, a bad note. So, you know, if this is Tom Brady's last season, I hope he's able to turn that around, start playing better, maybe start screaming at people, maybe start eating a little bit more, because I will say he looks very, very thin. I said that already. But, yeah, I just hope Tom Brady gets some of his shit together. But man, if there is a game that I want to see Tom Brady break down, it is against the Steelers. And I just want to mention to Xavier, too. You know, saying Tom Brady's going to throw a barbecue on the Pittsburgh. No, he fucking didn't. I will say I thought maybe he would, but no, he fucking did it. So all the Steelers haters out there that are watching Garrett's football show, that are watching any shows, that are in my ear telling me about the Steelers, I would say something inappropriate right now, but I'm trying to watch my language on this show. So I'm going to say what's appropriate way to tell people to fuck off. Yeah, fuck off. I guess that. I'm just going to say. That's not even what I was thinking about saying, but fuck off. Steelers are still winning it. Mike Tomlin's not having a losing season. I trust the Steelers. Now, we are halfway through that 4-game stretch. And actually, let's keep and just a look out on, because I said that Kenny Pickett's first game was the first game of the Steelers season. His first start was against the Jets. That was a loss, okay. His second start was against the Bills. No, he didn't start against the Jets. Never mind. His first start was against the Bills. That was a loss. His second start was against the Bucs. He scored 7 of our 20 points. So, you know, I'm going to get... Okay, Mitchell Trubisky didn't wear that game, but I'm putting that in. You know, we got Pickett in for half the game, so I'm counting that in our, like, new or alternate, you know, I can't think of the word right now. This is why I like having guests on, because I be getting brain farts. But record, there we go. Our alternate record. So right now, in the Pickett era, we are 1-1. Rookie quarterback, we're 1-1, and it's against the best team in the league probably right now. I'm going to get to my top 5 teams later this week, a new segment. But the best team in the league probably in the Bills, and the GOAT in Tom Brady. So we're 1-1. The next 2 games that are on these 4-game stretch that we've been covering the last 3 weeks are the Dolphins and Philadelphia, the Eagles. And then we have our bye week. And I think looking at this season, how things are going right now, that's perfect for us to have our bye week dab in the middle of the season. Okay, Miami. Sunday night game in Miami against the Dolphins. Tua is supposed to be coming back. Just a little update. I said I was going to talk for 5 or 6 minutes. It's been 18 minutes. I warned you guys I was about to rant. But the Dolphins. Now, like I said, the Dolphins, I've been saying as soon as they get their quarterback together, I think the Dolphins will be right back where they were. I'm not too sure. I'm going to try to look really quickly while I'm on air about like if Tyreek Hill played or not. Actually, I'm not. It doesn't matter with what I'm about to get into and what I'm about to say. I don't think Tua should even be playing. I think that, you know, I don't think as an NFL football fan, Xavier said this last week too, and I agree with it. As a football fan, of course, you want to see the best person, the best quarterback, the best players playing every week. As like a human being that like watched what happened to Tua and watch him get 2 concussions a week out of each other, I really don't believe shit the Dolphins organization saying or shit about the doctors saying that there's no long-term effects that they see or that he's fine to play. Bullshit. You get 2 concussions within 2 weeks, you shouldn't be playing in an NFL game again in another 3 weeks. That being said, I don't run shit in the NFL, so he's gonna play. Him playing, I think his first game back, I just think he's not gonna be able to do what he was doing those first 4 games. I mean, there may be some nervousness of just like, you know, how dangerous the sport is and what just happened to him over in back-to-back in 2 weeks, and just everything. Like, it kind of made the NFL world shut down for a little bit and change rules, you know, with all the quarterback hits that have been going on. Like, what just happened with Tua was like a big deal. So he could be nervous. There could be butterflies about like, should I take another big hit? Like, I feel like that would be something that it would hinder you from sitting in the pocket and making good plays over and over again. Then on top of that, I just don't think he's 100%. I mean, maybe he is, but I don't think he's 100% no matter if it's Trubisky or Pickett. I just don't think he's going to beat the Steelers. So I'm gonna say that's a dub. So then we'd be 2-1 in the Pickett era, and 3-4. Yeah, 3-4 as a team, and that's our record. And that would put us dab smack in the middle of the AFC. And depending on how the rest of the week goes, like maybe like at the top of our division, to be honest. So, okay, we're gonna beat Miami. That's that on that. Philadelphia, I'm gonna wait on that game. I'm not even going to speak on that game. I'm going to wait on that game until next week. We're going to see what the Steelers are looking like, what we're looking like, and then I'm going to make my prediction on the Eagles, and we're going to do a whole other wrap-up, and we're going to see where we're at. But I'm pretty sure that everyone except for the Steelers fans counted us out. Wrong idea. They what is it that old dude said? I think Geno Smith or whoever said it. They wrote me, I didn't write back. They wrote us off. We didn't write back. And we're not going to write back. We're going to keep winning. We're going to figure out a way to do it. That's Steelers football, figuring out a way to do it. All right. Now for another rant. I mean, it's a lot of ranting going on in Garrett's football show today. If you don't want to hear me rant about the Colts for probably another 20 minutes, okay, I'm going to keep the Colts to 10 minutes. It's 21 minutes in. I'm gonna control myself. We're going to talk about the Colts. I'm going to stop at 30 minutes. This was, without a doubt, our best game yet offensively. It looked like we started putting things together. And when we got Matt Ryan, that game on Sunday is that's what we got him for, to do what he did. 42 for 58, 389 yards. He threw the ball 58 times. That is a lot, but he completed 42 of them motherfuckers. Like 42 for 58, 389 yards, and the most important stat, no interceptions, no fumbles. And I will say that maybe I was wrong about it being like, every week I've been asking why are we losing, and I've been putting a lot of weight or blame on Matt Ryan. This is the first week where I don't think he got sacked at all. Maybe got pressured, got hit a few times, but he had time, and what resulted from him having time? The O-line was giving him time. When I say that, protecting him, he had time to sit and throw the ball and not have to worry about getting hit after he threw the ball or 24/7. So yes. That is something that I definitely noticed, and I will say that Matt Ryan looked really good when he had time to throw in the pocket. So I'm going to say, yeah, let's keep doing that. Now, that being said, our defense was definitely fucking around, letting the Jags run us out of the game. Travis Etienne had something crazy, like 100 or something yards. I don't know. I'm going to look over it real quick, but our defense didn't look good, and it made the game too much of a scoring game. Too high scoring. We let the Jags score too many points. Trevor Lawrence didn't even do anything crazy. But, yeah. Jags had 3 people who ran over 50 yards. I knew I wrote something like that down. So that's just not good. But the way our offense was playing, it was shit. It was one of those things the old Colts where you're just not, they weren't going to score as many points as us. We scored 34-27. That's the most points we scored this season. Pittman went for a career high, 13 catches, 134 yards. Alec Pierce looks like he is really a wide receiver too. That was the first game I think that Pittman really played like a strong wide receiver one. And then Pierce, had 3 receptions, 49 yards. His first TD was the walk-off game touchdown. The Colts looked really good. And then again, with just how competitive the NFL is this year, records that are competitive or just offense, not even it being a lot of crazy good offenses. However you want to say the reason for it is, the NFL is probably the most competitive that has been in 4 or 5 years. That's just a fact. The Colts right now are 3-2-1 and they're second in the division, and they're right in the middle of the AFC. Shit. Yeah, 2-4 Denver, 1-4 Raiders, 2-4 us at the Steelers, 2-4 Browns, 3-3 Cincinnati, 3-3 Baltimore. All the teams in the AFC are sitting at that 4-2, 3-3 range. So the Colts, it's really, the Colts are right where we need to be. And if we're in, the only thing that matters with the Colts going forward is, was that game an anomaly or was that us starting to put it together? I honestly think that was us starting to put it together, because every week I feel like I was seeing seeing hope. The Broncos, just as a comparison, with their bad old quarterback troubles, and we looked like we were having bad old quarterback troubles. I don't see much hope in the Broncos. And I hadn't seen it. I was seeing hope in the Colts, and now we had no JT, Jonathan Taylor, we had no Neiman Hines. We were out of all of our running backs. So just seeing what Matt Ryan was able to do, like I think we're just going to continue to get better. So now let's look at we have coming up 25 minutes. I said I wasn't going to go too long on this, but we have, and we just won our last 2 games. Yeah, we beat the Broncos, we beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, so now we're on a little roll. That's something to think about. 2 dubs in a row. And Jacksonville. I was beforehand last week, I was nervous about that game, but I couldn't see Jacksonville beating us 0-2. I don't think that happens. And again, we play the Titans next week. I can't see them beating us 2 times. But here are the problems to worry about with that. 1, we're at Tennessee, and 2, the Titans are just coming off their bye week. So, of course, they're going to be fresh, and they're going to be, and maybe a better position to play. Don't care. I think we're still gonna beat the Titans. I think both my teams right now, man. It's a good time for me to be a football fan. It's a good time to be watching Garrett's football show because you don't have to see me make excuses and be sad. I'm excited about everything right now. We're gonna beat the Titans, and then after that we have the Commanders. Then after that we have the Patriots. Then after that we have the Raiders. It's looking like we could do what the Colts have done the last couple of years, which is start okay, hit a little wrong stride in the middle, into the season. Now, this is what we need to do to change what's been going on the last couple of weeks. Or years, I'm sorry. When we go on that run at the end of the season, we have to finish it off. We have to get into the playoffs, and we have to get into the playoffs hot on a roll. So I think right now going into week 7, we're starting like the snowball is starting to get some momentum, I think we're going to beat the Titans. I think we're going to beat the Commanders. The Patriots are an interesting team right now, but in the Colts and Patriots, just organization-wise, that's always like a good game. Well, no, it's not. That's a cap, but it's always like a game to respect because Colts, Patriots, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, like those organizations battle it out for years. But I don't see us either way with these next games, with the next 3 games, Titans, Commanders, Patriots. On Garrett's Football Show, we always like to look ahead. I think we're going to come out of that 2-1, 3-0. I don't think there's any way we come out 1-2. Yeah. It's a good day for me to be a football fan. Steelers beat the GOAT. Like I said, it could potentially happen. What if we beat the GOAT and then things on the Steelers start changing? They're not changing still, Everyone's still calling us out. They're making it more about Tom Brady losing than us winning. But I'm okay with that because I see it. I called it. What if we beat the GOAT? What if we beat Miami? And I went through all that. So hey, maybe you should watch Garrett's Football Show. Maybe you should take me seriously when I say the things that I say. Colts. I mean, I was sad on them. But I stayed confident, stayed hopeful, and now we're looking like we may do something. Who knows? Steelers Colts AFC Championship. Crazy things have happened. It probably won't happen. I'm kidding. That's not going to happen. But both my teams are going to probably make the playoffs. Both my teams are probably going to have good seasons, winning records. So, it's a happy, happy, happy time to be a football fan. It's a happy, happy, happy time to run a football show. I'm happy. Those are my teams. Those are what we did week 6. Let's keep that going. Actually, yeah, I want to mention this really quickly, too. I'm not a superstitious guy. 28 minutes, I'm going to say this in a minute. I'm not a superstitious guy, but because Najee has been playing so bad and Michael Pittman had been playing so bad, I took them both out of my fantasy lineup. I lost in fantasy this week. And when I did that, I thought to myself, what if both, like Michael Pittman and Najee didn't really go off, but he had a touchdown, he looked better than he has. But I was like, what if I take both of these out? And both of them do good and both my teams win. Like, I really thought that. And it's like, maybe I took one for the team, Like, maybe I took a fantasy loss. And I took out, Pittman, my wide receiver, one of my good wide receivers on my fantasy team. And I took out Najee. And I drafted both of them because, of course, I'm biased. I'm a Steelers and I'm a Colts fan. I'm like, maybe if I take them out, they'll do good. And, a loss and a win will go both ways. So I'm not saying I'm the reason that the Steelers and the Colts both won. But I will say it was the first week this year that I didn't have Najee or Pittman in my lineup. First week that was both mine. And again, I'm not saying I'm going to do that again next week because I'm not going to lose another fantasy game. I'm not doing that shit again. We got to win. But if when I don't do it this week, if the Steelers and the Colts, if one of them loses or they both lose, it may be like a super. We'll cross that when we get to it next week. I just wanted to mention, maybe I had something to do with the Steelers and the Colts both winning. Maybe. I'm not superstitious, but maybe. Now, moving on to teams to talk about. This was probably, again, not just because of what both my teams won. This was one of the best. It was the week of upsets, and we're gonna get to that too. But first, I'm gonna go Bills versus Chiefs. The Bills won that game. That wasn't an upset, but it was an interesting game. And it could be seen as an upset, maybe. Okay, no. The best team in the league beating the Chiefs isn't an upset, but the last drive of the game, Patrick Mahomes throwing that interception and just trying to force it in there. That's not uncharacteristic of him. It's uncharacteristic of him to do that at that time of the game on the last drive, but that's neither here nor there. It wasn't an upset, but it was a great game of the week. And again, no matter the time of the year, whenever you see the Bills and the Chiefs play. I mean, I'm a Steelers fan. I'm a Colts fan. I'm going to watch that Bills-Chiefs game because it's literally watching history. It's watching the two best quarterbacks, generational talents, play against each other. It's like watching Peyton Manning and Tom Brady play. You have to sit down and watch that game. It's great to see. They never have a bad game. It's never disappointing. I know there's games, I remember that Chargers-Chiefs game. I was earlier this year, I was that's going to be a game of, high quarterback play. And, I mean, it was, but it wasn't. There's been a couple games this year of, that's going to be a game of high quarterback play. And, it was, but it wasn't. That was a game of high quarterback play. And after 6 weeks, I'm calling it. That is the game of the year so far. Bills win 24-20. Like I said, after Patrick Mahomes threw a surprising and, uncharacteristic interception on the final drive of the game. But both QBs threw over 300 yards. Both QBs threw over 300 yards. Both QBs showed why they're the two best in the league. And it was great receiver play from both teams with three receivers catching for 100-plus yards. Juju had a breakout game, touchdown over 100 yards, I'm pretty sure. Who is it? Stephon Diggs, however, had over 100 yards. Can't think who else had over 100 yards, but that was just a great game. You love to see that. As a football fan, not being a fan of anything of the Chiefs or the Bills, it's just you watch a game like that and you just remember why football, I think personally, is one of the most entertaining sports to watch, in my opinion. Now, why did the Bills win that game? Von Miller, them getting Von Miller was I think they were doing things to beat the Chiefs. I think for the Bills at this point, they're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel is always going to be the Chiefs. We're going to have to face the Chiefs in the divisional round or the AFC championship game. We got to be able to beat the Chiefs. And Von Miller, I think he got some sacks that game, pressures. He was a problem the whole game. So I think that is one of the reasons. And then a big reason I think the Bills won too, is because Patrick Mahomes just made a bad interception at the end of the game. That game could have gone completely different depending on that game could have went completely different if Patrick Mahomes didn't do that and we're having a different conversation, but it doesn't. And I'm going to say the AFC championship game and the AFC playoff is going to go through Buffalo. And if Buffalo gets the AFC championship game and they have to play against Kansas City, of course they would rather play that game in Buffalo in the cold than in Kansas City at their home turf in whatever Kansas City stadium's called. I don't know why I can't think of it right now. So I think that game was a Sunday 4:00 game a Sunday 4:00 game at Week 6. Is going to have a big difference on the end of the season when we come down to it. And I truly believe that. And I think during the playoff episodes of Garrett's Football Show, I'm going to be coming back to this episode and saying to myself, the Bills won that Week 6 game against the Chiefs, and now the Chiefs have to go to Buffalo for a playoff game. This game had a lot of importance for the rest of the year. Then moving on. Again, best quarterbacks in the league. One of them is probably the real MVP over Jalen Hurts. I'm sorry, especially after the conversation Xavier and I had about kind of just Jalen Hurts and why, kind of what the theme of him being MVP is. I really think you just see a game like that and you're one of them is the MVP. They're just too good. Now, again, let's move on. Teams to talk about. And like I said, this may be the craziest week as far of NFL so far as teams going off the rails and just it being a lot of upsets. And again, this is just the most competitive year of NFL I've ever seen, and I think it's because like there's no really like offense or like I guess the Bills and like I wouldn't even say the Chiefs, but there's like no like dominating teams that are just going crazy, and then the bottom half isn't like there's so teams that are just complete ass that they're not doing shit. Like the only team that I feel like you could really count out of everything right now is the Panthers because like I mean even the Raiders being 1-4, 1-5, like I still feel like the Raiders are better than that. They're 1-4 record, and like even like the poo ass fucking Broncos are 2-4. Like so, in 2-4 again in this season of NFL, you're not out of it. So it's just interesting. Hella 2-4 teams, hella 3-3 teams, like a couple 5-1 teams, and those are unexpected. Like the Giants are 5-1. You didn't expect that unless you are a Giants fan. The Vikings are 5-1. You didn't expect that probably unless you're a Vikings fan. Like it's Kirk Cousins. So it's a great year to watch football competitive wise. Now, another thing to mention just with like this year is just the Falcons are 6-0 against the spread, and that's something to remember with betting. And I hope me saying this isn't like bad luck, and they don't do it after like maybe some of my like football like people watching this going like, okay, I'm gonna bet on the Falcons. But I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be betting on the Falcons spread next week because they're 6-0 against it, and the Falcons are competitive every game. And that's again Falcons, one of those weird teams. Like I guess it's not weird, but it's like, what? Why are they so good? But teams to talk about: Patriots versus Brown. All I'm gonna say is like a Browns loss, of course, is great for the Steelers. Bailey Zappi, the Patriots backup, he looks good. I mean, is he taking Mac Jones' job? No, but he's doing everything the Patriots are asking of him. And because of like the way the Patriots team is set up, he doesn't have to do too much, but he's not making any mistakes. So it's kind of like one of those things where Bill Belichick maybe has a little bit of decision to make with like Mac Jones. And obviously with like the Cowboys, it's similar to that where the way that the Cowboys are playing football right now, even though Cooper Rush was doing everything he was supposed to he was supposed to do, it was like the perfect job for him to come in and just, if you don't make mistakes, you're gonna look good. I kind of think that's what the Patriots are. I think obviously the combination, like the Bailey Zappi and Mac Jones, is a way more of a conversation of Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. But it's just like interesting to see teams like take backups and like really like do good, and you see like a backup like kind of like having like a not stardom but a lot of potential. So I think that's just interesting. The Patriots are always a team because of Bill Belichick you have to look out for. And again, like I said, Bill Belichick is an amazing coach. Brissett threw 2 interceptions in that game, and Chubb only ran for 56 yards. So that's probably a big reason also why they lost. But, that was a good game. Now, Jets and Packers, again, last week I said the Packers were on a downslide. I said Aaron Rodgers fucking sucks. But all that being said, I honestly didn't think they were going to lose to the Jets. I didn't think they were going to give New York like 2 wins in a row. Aaron Rodgers found a way to do it. And one of the craziest things about that game, sorry about that, Zach Wilson threw the ball 18 times for 110 yards, and the Jets won 27-10. 18 times Zach Wilson threw the ball for 110 yards, and they won 27-10. So there's obviously something going on with Aaron Rodgers. I'm more worried about, we're not worried because who gives a fuck about the Packers. I don't give a fuck about the Packers, but as a fan, again, football fan, I'm more worried about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers and what their season's going to do more than I'm worried about Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and what they're going to do in the rest of the season. And the only thing saving the Packers right now is that they're in a poo-ass division, and it's a year when the NFL is so competitive. But the Packers, they're still second in the division at 3-3. The Bears are 2-4. I don't think the Bears. I like the Bears for some weird reason. I don't know why, but they're not gonna. I don't think now. Like looking at it after that Thursday night game, like I don't think they're gonna end up being better, finishing above the Packers. But it doesn't really matter because even if the Packers finish second in their division, they're not winning the Super Bowl. They're not making any real playoff noise. Aaron Rodgers' playoff run. Not playoff, but his Super Bowl chances, his chances for that Super Bowl, that second Super Bowl, those are gone. Those are in the toilet. You should have done it 2 or 3 years ago, but he shitted in the NFC Championship game against Tom Brady at home. He shitted against the 49ers. at home. So, yeah, Aaron Rodgers didn't win another Super Bowl. Sorry if you're a Green Bay fan. You guys probably know that as well if you're being honest with yourself. But, yeah, the Steelers are. I mean, sorry. Packers and Aaron Rodgers aren't winning another Super Bowl. The Steelers are going to be winning another Super Bowl in 4 or 5 years. And I'll be very happy to cover that in season 3 and 4 of Garrett's football show. But, yeah, the Packers are I think, are just going to be, I don't think they're going to do anything crazy. And the Jets, I'm not worried about the Jets either. The Jets are, I don't even know. They look good this year, but Zach Wilson isn't. I'm not worried about Zach Wilson. And in the NFL today, if you don't have a star quarterback, you're not going to do anything too crazy. You can't win in this league focusing on a running back, like focusing on Breece Hall, the running back, or focusing on defense. Like, you can, but it's just not the way the league is set up. Now, Giants and Ravens, and I'm going to try to speed up a little bit. It's just the Giants, like, I'm convinced about the Giants being good, but I'm more scared about the Ravens and them just not being able to finish games. It's the same thing. Like, they were up 10 or something in this game, and Lamar just found a way to give the Giants that game. Like, he gave that interception, and it's just like, golly. It's just a bad decision. Like, just throw the ball away. Live to play another play. Like, especially when the game is that close, especially when you're kind of like on your side of the field still. Like, I think they were still in their territory. It's just Lamar is just like, and I love Lamar so much. Like, I as a quarterback, I love watching him play. I love what he does for the NFL, but he just can't do things like that. He has to figure out a way to close games. I mean, it's just, I guess, for the Steelers, the Ravens losing is great, but I'm just going to say, like, Lamar, his next step in his development is figuring out how to play through games and win games out. The Giants, I mean, the NFC East is the most compelling division in the league right now, and last year they were one of the worst. So that, again, is just back to that theme of the year, is that the NFL it's just a great time to be the NFL fan. Now, like I said, I'm moving on quick. I guess with the Ravens and the Giants, on the Giants, I'm going to say each week I'm going to be more convinced, I guess, of the Giants the more that I see them play. But same thing I said with the Jets. Like, if you don't have, like, a great star quarterback, what can you really do in this league? So I'm excited to see what the Giants do. And I do like Saquon Barkley. I like Matt Dable. I like the energy that team has. So I'm excited if the Giants continue to get good. On the other side with the Ravens will probably win the division, but it's like, what does it matter if you can't win games, big games? And as the season goes on, everybody knows the games just get bigger. They get more intense. They mean more. And I don't know what that's going to mean for the Ravens having to play bigger games if Lamar's going to finish them. Eagles, Cowboys, it was a good game. I mean, Cooper Rush really isn't that bad. The only takeaways I have from that, Jalen Hurts is a winner. He always figures out a way to win. He's really calm. Cooper Rush actually isn't that bad. He's probably one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. And I don't know if he's a starter, probably not, but Cooper Rush, like, he literally filled the definition of what a backup quarterback is. So I shout out to Cooper Rush. Dak is coming back this week probably. I think they said definitely, but shout out to Cooper Rush. Kind of like I like the fact that, like, I don't like Cooper Rush. I like just the fact that, like, he kept the Cowboys in it and he made no mistakes. And even though he threw 3 interceptions, like, he didn't seem rattled. Like, he brought them back into that game. So you got to respect Cooper Rush. Eagles, again, I'm still at the same thing again. Like, I want them to play a big team. I want them pause again. I want them to play like a good team, like a team that is like, okay, you beat this team, all right, that was a good win. Like the Bills, the Chiefs. I don't know who else because the NFL is so weird this year. But and because maybe the NFL is so weird this year, I'm thinking about it as I talk. Maybe this is the time for the Eagles to win because maybe there's not any teams that are like quote unquote dominant, especially in the NFC. But I just think like in the playoffs, like the fact that the Eagles don't really play anyone is going to come to bite them in the ass. Now I'm going to say 5 best teams in the league, my 5 best teams: Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Giants. For the 5th, it's weird. Vikings probably, but they don't feel like it, but it's the Vikings. Hold on. Yeah. We're going to take a little break. I'm going to come back. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, but with the best five teams in the league, yeah, I think in this order: Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Giants, Vikings. But like that Giants and Vikings at like 4 and 5, I feel weird saying that. So I mean, I don't know. I was looking through like the teams, the records, and I'm like, well, there has to be somebody better than them. Like the teams, I think you could say like, okay, Baltimore, no, like they have to be out of the top five now, just because the way they are losing games, it's like frightening. Like you can't put a team that's losing games like that in the top five, and I want to more than anything, like so bad because I like Lamar, and it's just hard for me to not bet against him. But it's easy to when you just like going off the eye test. Jets, I'm not gonna do it because I'm not convinced of the Jets. I think Kirk Cousins and Zach is better than Zach Wilson. Like that's what it comes down to for me. The Dolphins would probably be better than the Giants, probably be better than the Vikings. But the last couple weeks, like the Dolphins with the quarterback issues. But in all reality, probably the Dolphins I'd put in there. You can't put the Patriots in there. I can't put the Bengals in there. Like if you wanted to say that, if someone was to say that, I'm gonna argue it. I can't put the Bengals in there. Shit. Can't put the Chargers in there. I think I already said that. Like, who are you gonna put in there? Like, you could put the Cowboys as top five, maybe, but it's just Atlanta, maybe because they're so competitive. But no, like Seahawks, no, like even if they're competitive, like so, like the best five teams in the league is interesting this year because there's really only three for sure, and those last two are shuffled. But I think the Vikings have to be in there for sure. The Giants don't necessarily have to be in there. Like I put the Giants in there just because they're 5-1 and the like energy that they have as a team. But I think it's interesting, and I'm gonna keep doing like the five best teams over the I'm gonna keep doing the five best teams over the next couple weeks because I think that could change, and I think maybe some things will like turn out differently. But that's just interesting to think about to me, in my opinion. And then next, I didn't even say what I went last week. I'm going to like go over it right now. Commanders at Bears, I got that wrong. 49ers at Falcons, I got that wrong too. The Falcons won that game, right? Yeah, they definitely did. Jets at Packers, I got that wrong. Like that, upsets, a week of upset. Jaguars at Colts, I got that right. Vikings at Dolphins, I got that right. Bengals at Saints, I got that wrong. Ravens at Jets, got that wrong. Bucks at Steelers, got that right, of course. Panthers at Rams, got that right. Cardinals at Seahawks, I got that right. That's one of the upsets I called, but it just felt right. The Seahawks being so competitive and it was just something about that game. It was a division game. I kind of saw that happening. Bills at Chiefs, I got that wrong, and maybe that's why at the beginning of the show I was saying it felt like an upset. But it wasn't. But it upset to me, I guess. Cowboys at Eagles, I got that right. Broncos at Chargers, got that right. It was just an interesting week. I'm not even going to count when I went because so many upsets. But I think I came out, like, looking at the checks and the X's. It looks like I came out, like, about 500, but crazy week. Now let's move on to, fantasy, I'm going to say I kind of went over, like, I lost this week in fantasy, but I think I took one for the team by putting out some players and doing, like, when I did it, I was like, I'd hope I win fantasy, but, like, something in the back of my head is, like, watch them go off this week, and they did, so that's what I'm going to say with fantasy. Next week, again, like we always say, we're going to win. I'm 500 now, 3-3. And another thing I've been saying, like my fantasy team is like the NFL season. Like all of them, like it's really competitive. And like if you're 3-3, 2-4 right now, you're right in it in my fantasy league. So it's definitely fun. Going to continue to watch the waiver wires, continue to check up on my team. Build a family structure, trade some people who need to be traded respectfully. If you're doing bad, you can't be on my team. Bring some people in. Buy low, sell high. My fantasy vocabulary is getting better. So. Same thing as always. We're going to win this week. We only do wins on Garrett's Football Show, and the losses are also wins. We just learn from them. It's a little bit of life advice I gave you guys right there. Listen to that again if you need to. Now, bets, I'm going to say is the NFL is rigged. And I had a parlay that I did that I know I've been talking way longer than I thought to, so I'm not even going to get into that story. But this is why I'm convinced the NFL is rigged, and they definitely have some sort of like deal with Vegas and probably the NBA too. So on that Monday night game, the Chargers and the Broncos, Justin Herbert's anytime touchdown score, just one touchdown that Justin Herbert had to have, one touchdown throw. They boosted it from minus 800 to plus 100. And when I saw that like probably like 4 or 5 hours before the game started. I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm not doing that, because I knew it was a trap. But there was still something in the back of my head where it's like, like if I hadn't been doing so terribly and losing so much money betting this year, I would have done it. But because I have been having such a bad bet year so far, these first 6 weeks, I'm like, I'm not about to let Vegas take my money. So I was like seeing the future. But like, he really didn't throw a touchdown pass all game. And the thing that's amazing about that is it had been 2 years since he had gone without throwing a touchdown pass in a game. So you're telling me Justin Herbert throws at least one touchdown for 2 years in the NFL. And on a Monday night, the one game where he ends up not throwing a touchdown, hours before Vegas decides to boost it, FanDuel, DraftKings, you decide to boost it to plus 100? You must think we're stupid. And you want to know what? We being the bettors, me and all my friends, whether you bet on that or not, because I know everybody was looking at that, deciding what was weird about that. But all the betting apps definitely think we're a bunch of fucking morons. And we probably maybe are, because a lot of you bet on it. I wanted to bet on it. And the crazy thing about it is I'm going to bet next week knowing that I'm like 99% sure that the NFL is rigged. Like they paid Justin Herbert to not throw a touchdown or something. And I know that it's rigged. And I'm still going to bet next week. Right? Like, and this is like where I get into. I'm going to get into this too long, but there has to be a study done. There probably is, but betting is really addictive. I think I'm talking to you guys right now. Like, am I addicted to betting? Like, probably so. And then I have to ask myself, like, why? Like, what is it about losing money and like doing 5 or 6 leg parlays? I have friends that do 14 leg parlays. Like, and what is it that keeps bringing me back? Like, am I a masochist? I don't know. Because I know that I'm losing bets. I have, like, proof. Justin Herbert threw a touchdown every game for the past 2 years. And then the one game he doesn't beforehand, they boost it. That's proof. That's logical. I'm logically thinking that's me. Like, the NFL is rigged. And knowing that, I'm still gonna bet on Sunday. If anyone has read a study about the psychology behind that, and I don't know, there's something out there. Like, if you're watching this, definitely send me a study or something about why NFL, or not even NFL, but why betting is harmful and addictive, and what the brain chemical thing in that is. There's something with that. It's crazy, because literally I realize that the NFL is rigged, but I also realize I'm gonna continue to bet, and I don't know why. Even my ass, it's not even I make parlays where I'm about to make $15,000. I don't even bet like that. So it's I'm only betting to win $100 max, really, if I'm keeping it real with you guys. I mean, if you're watching Garrett's Football Show, I love you guys because you're watching my show. Better know we're 20, 30, 60. I'm not making $50,000 bets, so why am I still betting to only win, I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, does anybody else have that problem? Probably. I would assume so. Betting, man, it is addictive. It's dangerous. I mean, the way that I'm seeing it, if the NFL came out and said, yeah, we have a deal with FanDuel, there's about 2 or 3 picks every week that we're going to try to trick you guys. It's just going to happen. If they came out and said that, I probably would still bet the next week. Do with that information what you will. Yes, I probably have a betting problem. Yeah. Maybe I need to talk to someone about that, but hey, shit's fun, Fun is fun. Predictions. Week 7 predictions, and then I'm going to get you guys out of here. We're going to go through these fast. Saints at Cardinals. That's the Thursday night game. That's interesting. I got Cardinals. I hope they score. I hope it's not a terrible Thursday night game. Jeff Bezos You shouldn't have. I don't think, maybe because it's Amazon, but you taking the Thursday night games was a bad idea. It's bad for America, probably bad for business for you. Ugly look. Browns at Ravens. Interesting game. I'm going to go Ravens, but I guarantee Lamar figures out a way to make it close. Close for the Browns. Buccaneers at Panthers. Buccaneers. The Panthers are fucking ass. Falcons at Bengals. I'm going to go Bengals. Gonna go Bengals. Nothing more said. Next week on Garrett's Football Show, depending on how that game works out, may have something to say about that. I'm not gonna lie. Lions at Cowboys. Cowboys. Dak's first big game back. It's a perfect game back for him. If the Cowboys lose that game, though, the conversations on Garrett's Football Show, and probably more, because like I said, I'm not a big Cowboys fan, but around the league with media will be interesting if the Lions win that game. Giants at Jacksonville. That's a good undercover game. I'm going to go Jags with the upset. Colts at Titans. Colts, Packers at Commanders. Packers now have the... Sorry about that again, my allergies. If the Packers lose this game, y'all niggas y'all is cooked. Cooked. Well done. Well done. Well done. Literally. If the Packers lose to the Commanders, you guys are well done. Jets at Broncos. Jets. Still don't trust the Jets, but Russell Wilson's a cornball and they suck. Texans at Raiders. Raiders. Even though, like I said, I think that the Raiders' record is a bad indication of what I think the Raiders really are. Seahawks at Chargers. Chargers. Chiefs at 49ers. Chiefs. But I could see a game that being the Chiefs lose for some weird reason. Steelers at Dolphins. That is a Sunday night game. Do I even need to say it? I'm not going to say it. Well, actually, I am, just in case, I don't know. Maybe I need to know. I have the Pittsburgh Steelers in a close game, but the Steelers win. Bears at Patriots as the Monday night game. Who cares, bro? Bears. But not Patriots. But that's a shitty Monday night game. We need to stop getting these trash-ass games on Pride Time. But that is episode 7 of Garrett's Football Show. Thank you again for watching. That's a wrap. See you next week.